Hi, welcome back to Wagon 84 here at Donegal Railway Heritage Centre. We're going to continue our work now with the Pedigo layout extensions. This side here, last time we were looking at doing the rock faces. This is all dried, cleaned up and tidied now. So now we're going to change this into this. Let's get started on painting this up. So what do I have? I got some cheap acrylic grey paint here, which I've made a very watered down wash with. I've got some clean water, and then I've got some more water over here just for cleaning brushes. So to do this, first of all we're going to just take some water, wet the area we're going to paint. So you want to do this sort of work before you've done any scenery, because this can be a bit messy. And this is the sort of ideal thing to be doing because it's messy and you can't really do anything wrong if you've got young kids to get them involved. So once it's all wet, then take some of the wash and just put it on, work it around. You're not looking to get into all the crevices straight away. You just want to give it a good wash over and let it dry. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and then I'll come back and show you when it's complete. Here you can see now I've put the first diluted grey wash on. As always, remember to protect any track work. I'll just put a bit of kitchen paper down here to protect it. You can see where I first started. The wash was still a bit too thick, so I've watered it down further just to give that first basic coat. And then it's just a matter of letting this dry, repeat it, go over it with maybe a slightly darker wash just to highlight the features. So we'll let that dry for a few hours, then we'll come back, we'll put another wash on it and just see how it looks. So here we are, a couple of hours later, the rock faces have all dried off. So what I'm going to do now, repeat the process. This time it's not quite as dilute, the wash, and this time I'm going to go around and get it into all the crevices. So, the same process as before. Wet the area. Take the wash, and this time I'm sort of stippling it in to all the areas to make sure everything gets a good covering. You can see now how it's taken out more of the white, but as you rub it over, it's highlighting some of the features. So let's just repeat this process all along the rock face. So I'll do that, then I'll show you the finish. So there we can see now the second wash has gone on. You can see how it's more filled in, still highlighting some of the ridges with a thinner coat of paint. Now I think that's enough grey on the rocks for now, so I'll let that dry, and when I come back I'll do a similar thing but with some different colours, some browns and greens and that, just to highlight the rocks. So we'll let that dry and we'll come back in a few hours. That's the second wash now dried off. So again, it's about repeating this process until you're happy with the finish using different colours. So now I'm going to use a bit of burnt sienna just to put over it again. And again, it's the same method. You're wetting the surface. You want to make it with all of these nice and wet, because the idea is the water helps the pigment of the paint run through it. And we're just taking that, and we're not worried about going into all the cracks. We're just simply giving this a bit of a wash over. Just to give it a bit of colour, a bit of variation. You know, you want to watch it and make sure that the colour isn't pooling into any of the crevices. So you're just moving it around and you're sort of happy with the colour. And you don't even have to do all the rocks. You want to use the sort of colours for the area that you're modelling, whether it's sandstone, limestone, granite, whatever you're doing. Just use some of the colours associated with it. Again, you're rubbing it in, moving it around with the water, and it just gives a little bit of variation to the rock. So I'm going to carry on, do the rest of that now. There we have a subtle brown shade on there. If you find you put it on, you think it's a little bit too thick, then just get a brush, just water on it, and just help thin it out and wash some of it off. You can see you've just thinned it out a little bit. So again, it's a matter of letting that dry and just continuing the processes with different colour washes. So next one, I'm going to do a very light black wash over it. So we'll let that dry for an hour or two, and then we'll go over it with a black wash. So this is after a couple of days of putting on the brown wash, and you can see how it all works together and blends. It gives a realistic rock appearance. So again, repeating the process again, using a very minimal black wash. This is more like just like dirty water. And again, let's repeat the process. Wet the rocks. And then spread on a black wash. So again, repeat this process all the way around. We'll do that, come back and take another look. There's the black wash on. It's just a subtle colour change, just to highlight some of the ridges. So we'll let that dry off, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing some of the dry brushing with a bit of white, maybe a few more greys, some green. And just it's just all about building up the layers and the colours until you're happy with it. So we'll come back to this in a few hours. I've put on some green scatter on the top there, just to start the green scenics on this area. But now we're going to go back to the rock face and we're going to do some dry brushing. So for that we've got a little bit of white and black paint, piece of tissue there, and we're going to take a stiff bristled brush, start with the white, dab it in, and then on the paper we're just going to brush the majority of it off. So you're leaving very little on the actual brush itself. And then we simply go over to the rock face and we're just brushing up and down, and you can see little bits of white there, just highlighting the ridges and the crevices and just bringing it a little bit to life. And then we'll do the same with the black. I'm not going to bother about cleaning the brush. I'm just going to wipe off the excess. Now with the white, with the black, you really do have to make sure you get a lot of it off, because it will leave a lot of marks behind. So we'll just go with the black, and you can just see there with the black going over it how it creates shadows and just highlights the different ridges and crevices in the rocks. So I'm going to carry on doing that around the rest, and we'll come back and have a look at it. There you can see now I've done the dry brushing with the white and black. You can see how it's created highlights and shadows on the rock, just give it a more realistic feeling. Again, you can use different colours depending on the type of rock you're trying to model. So I'm happy enough now with the paint finish on those rocks. Next step is we're going to start adding some greenery to it. So to add the green scenics to the rock faces, I've got some grass tufts, some flower patches. These are just tufts with flower scatter on them. I got some seafoam trees, some small bushes. I've got the woodland scenic bushes. I've also got woodland scenic briar patch. And I've got a little bit of glue in here, just the PVA to help stick things down. So it's just a matter of just putting it all over the rocks where you see fit. So we'll start now, get some of it done. I've also got a little pin vise here if I need to drill any holes to put any of the bushes or trees in. So let's get started. There we go. There's some plants and flowers and bushes. added to it. It just helps bring it to life. And you can see on the top now I've done a bit of static grass, put some bushes in, not too much. And use some colour scatter on the bushes and trees as well. You notice the bit at the back, there's nothing on that. That's going to be a display area for models, so that's why I haven't put the scenery any further back. Also, this section here, I'm going to do more work on this when I've completed the static grass and this area, so I can help blend it all in to the edge of the rock face and this hillside here. But I think the painting and detailing on the rock face, I don't think it looks too bad. So let me know what you think in the comments. A little bit more done on the Pedigree layout, but still lots to do. Don't forget to check out my channel members, their links are down below. And if you want to become a channel member, it helps pay for me doing work like this on the layouts here in the museum. If you want to know how I've done the static grassing, there's a video here. And if you want to know how I've done the tufts in the trees, there's a video here. So do check them out. So as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.